Hi everybody, it is Juan from Raven Drone Solutions. If you haven't already, subscribe down below and these videos will come directly to you. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about my first thoughts of the drone industry. Now, this is related on my personal experience, so other experiences may vary, but I figured if you're going to get into the drone industry, if you're interested in it, maybe you think this is an exciting industry to get into, or maybe you want to incorporate this into your already existing occupation. Whatever it may be, I hope this helps, and I hope that you're able to get some insight on it based on my own experience. If that sounds interesting, stay tuned. Alright, so the very first thing that I got to point out with the drone industry is that there's really a lot to learn in different niches. It really depends on obviously how you want to position yourself in your business, whether you want to do aerial photography or security or whatever the case might be. But there's so much to learn in different niches, and even for something as simple and as prevalent as real estate photography, which I've done plenty of, and I can tell you that even though the money that you can make from that can be good, but the fact is that there's so much competition, it's kind of hard. I'll get into that later, but even with just real estate, there's so much you can learn from real estate. I mean, even just capturing certain angles, how you position the drone, the aperture, the ISO, everything. There's so much to learn, and especially if you really want to be one of these guys that's like amazing at this specific work, whether it's you want to have so I live in Miami, and you have some big time houses and condos and stuff. If you want to be the guy that they call because you are just amazing at your job and you can really highlight a property in such an amazing and unique way that people are lining up to book shots with you, well, that takes a while to learn. It's not that quick. For something like mapping, well, mapping has a lot of technicalities that you have to be aware of. Obviously, you need to be very careful how you word things because, I attended a workshop last week with Dylan Gorman, which the guy's an expert at mapping, and, we talked to things about like GIS and surveying and stuff like that, and how you need to be very careful how you word things because there's a lot of legalities with it. So basically what I'm just trying to say is that depending on what niche you want to target or the different niches, because, for example, my company, we don't just do one thing. There's a lot to learn. And even within each niche, I mean, even the niche within the niche, like for inspections, I mean, you're doing cell tower inspections versus roof inspections. They're quite different. There's so much to learn in each one. And the thing is, people come into the industry and they think it's going to be quick, it's going to be easy. Oh, the returns are going to be, in your favor and blah, blah, blah. The reality is that there's a lot of work you got to put into it if you really want to make this work. All right, the second thing I want to talk about is that unfortunately the general public is still very ignorant towards the drone industry as a whole. Now let me explain. Most people think that drones are toys and that you can buy this little drone for $500 to $1,000 in Best Buy and that it's just for hobbyists. And the fact is that no, there's actually a lot of things you can do with drones today. But trying to get that through a lot of people today it's quite difficult. There's a lot of areas like agriculture, for example. A lot of these people, unfortunately, are very resistant to change. They don't like to explore new technologies as often. Now, maybe the newer generation might. Maybe the young, especially like the hipster generation that, they want everything organic or whatever, they may be very inclined to try different technologies. But the older generation, the baby boomer generation, they may be very reluctant to it. So, unfortunately, it is a hurdle that especially if you're a business owner like myself, it is a hurdle that you're going to have to tackle because, unfortunately, it's a big thing. Most people think that drones are just for like real estate or things like that, but not for something serious like inspections or with thermal imaging and cell tower inspections. No, this stuff this stuff is supposed to be for specialized people, and to a certain extent, yes, you're right. But for capturing data, drones can be used very, very well and very, very efficiently. I'm not saying it's easy, but they can be used very, very effectively. And they can actually save companies a lot of money. And they can even help them make money as well. One of the things that I got to focus on was when I started my business was, how do I save customers money? And also, how can I help them make money? Because at the end of the day, if you're hiring a guy just to fly a drone, and yeah, that's cool, but how is this useful to them? How is this saving them money? Is it saving them a lot more costs down the road? Is it helping them make money in the process? There's so many ways of doing things, and especially when you're starting out, you run into this hurdle quite a bit. A lot of people, you start calling. A lot of people are like, nope, sorry, but we're not incorporating that yet, or we're not interested. And it's just unfortunately something that you're gonna have to deal with. But definitely, yes, the general public is still very ignorant towards it. However, things are changing, so there's hope down the road. All right, the third thing is you need to be very, very self-motivated, and you need to be a go-getter if you want to survive in this industry. This is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of drone pilots don't make any kind of money with their business. I've asked some experts, and many of them have said, like freelancers like myself, and a lot of them have said, look, honestly, very few actually make money, and there's a lot of reasons behind that, and I will make a video on this topic later down the road. But you really have to be a go-getter, because unfortunately a lot of these companies like Drone Base, Drone Up, you name it, a lot of them, they're good for what they are, which is paid practice, but that's about it. They're not really going to be giving you any substantial amount of jobs that you can actually make a decent living from. Most of these are one-offs, and I've seen it myself. I've seen it a lot of times. There's other companies, and I'll make a video on my experience with contracting, like with some of these companies. You're not really going to make any money with them. And I mean, sorry to be all doom and gloom from the very get-go with this one, but yeah, it is what it is. But really, the thing is, you really have to be a go-getter, because there's just, the opportunities are there. You just have to go out there and get them. They're not going to be given to you. And if they are given to you, well, you're not going to be getting paid much. It's just the nature of the beast. So let's just say if you're somebody that, like me, you have a security background. Okay, well, how do you incorporate drones with security? Now, you can get a really cheap drone like a Mini to do something like that, but I mean, your options are going to be very, very, very limited. And obviously, if you have wind, if you have other stuff, then maybe that might not be the best option. But if you have the money to invest in something like a Matrice 30 or a Skydio or something like that, there your options and your clients are going to be much better. Now, you would have to really knock on doors, and you really have to put in the grind. One thing that I've noticed is that you really have to put in the grind on this one. Because, like I said, the general public is still very ignorant towards drones. There's many regulations in place that are still, they still have to catch up to the technology. The laws are always behind. And this is not just with the airspace. There's, so many different things. So really, yes, you have to be a go-getter, and you have to see what opportunities there are. For me, I've tried subcontracting. I've even tried registering with SAM.gov to be a government contractor. You just got to make phone calls. You got to go out there and talk to people. Go out there and network. Attend networking events. Sometimes it might not be the people that you might necessarily target, but they may be like, hey, listen, I heard you do this. What can you show me? You got to prepare presentations, YouTube videos, make postings on social media, stuff like that. But you really have to go out there and you got to be proactive, and you got to market yourself. Because at the end of the day, if nobody knows who you are, nobody's going to book you. And if you don't want to be losing jobs to the 18-year-old kid that still lives with his parents and that got a drone for Christmas and is making a couple $100s a day, well, then you better be out there and you better be working your butt off, because unfortunately, that's going to be your competition if you don't get to it, and especially if you don't want to stick to the low hanging fruit and you want to go out there and get the big game. Well, it requires you to really go out there and attend conventions, attend trade shows. I'm set to go to a natural disaster expo here in the next couple months. These are all things that you have to do, and you have to be very proactive, because if not, I'm telling you, it's not going to work. You're not going to make it in this industry. It's just a harsh truth, guys, unfortunately. All right, the fourth thing, you need to invest a lot of time, money, and effort in researching the niche that you want to service and the equipment and software that you need. A lot of people make the mistake in thinking that just because they have a drone, that the jobs are going to be coming in, they created their LLC, maybe made a website, and that's it. That's all they need. Unfortunately, you need to do a lot more work than that. And especially if you want to service a very technical field, like let's just say power line inspections or mapping or whatever the case might be. Well, you need to know what you're doing, and you need to know your equipment in and out. You need to know your software in and out, and you need to know what to provide to the client, especially because they want to be able to extract data, and they want to be able to save money in the process. Even for something as simple as real estate. Okay, I use real estate a lot because real estate is pretty much the entry level to a lot of people. Even for that, even a drone as simple as the DJI R2S, which is the one that I use on a pretty much a daily basis when I do a lot of these shoots. Well, that's the drone, that's extra batteries, safety equipment if I need it. Also, do I have to edit anything? Well, you gotta pay for that as well, and also airspace, any kind of restrictions, weather, you name it. There's a lot of things, and for me, a lot of times, clients, they think, because they don't know, they think, oh, well, okay, this is going to look amazing, but I'm like, yeah, you're right next to an airport, a major airport, which I can't fly very high in, if at all, and there might be power lines, there might be some obstacles, maybe some areas are surrounded by trees, and it's like, look, I'm sorry, there's only so much I'm able to do personally, where I'm sorry, it's just not, you're not going to get a whole lot of it. You're not going to get a whole lot of what you think you're going to get, simply because of the fact that there's so much around. But even this, like you as a drone operator, you have to be able to explain this to the client. And it's not something that you just pick up and do. This takes some practice. So if you really want to be successful in this, and you really want to make money, you have to invest a lot of time into it. And not a lot of people say this. People think all you got to do is just get a drone, form your company, form a website, and that's it. There's a lot more to it. And especially if you really want to make it, the investment is key, but the investment pays off down the road. Don't expect quick returns, because it doesn't work this way. So make sure that you really do your research and you see what's actually worth it, because at the end of the day, it's a big investment. I've put in a lot of investment into my personal business, and it's something that I had to do a lot of research. I saw testimonials, I saw all kinds of different things. And, yes, you're always going to get naysayers and things like that. But these are things that you have to research as a business owner, or even if you already have a job and you're just trying to implement drones into your workflow, you still have to do a lot of time and effort in investing, because not all drones are created the same, not all software is the same, and obviously not all pilots are the same. So if you plan on hiring people, you gotta plan on hiring pilots. You got to know who you're hiring, because those guys can make or break your business if you're not careful. All right, fifth. Pretty much, if you want to make money, you got to have money. Okay? Or how the saying goes, if you need to have money to make money. You get the idea. Basically, you need to invest the money into this kind of business if you really want to make money. And these are one of the first thoughts that I had when I joined the drone industry, is because I was told, like a lot of people, that all you need to do is have a drone and blah blah blah, and you get all this hyped advertisement when a lot of it's not very accurate. And one of the first things that I noticed when I got into it is the fact that, yeah, you need to invest the money, and you need to also make the time to perfect your skills. You need to practice, practice, practice. If you really want to make it in this industry, you have to put in the time and effort. And this kind of piggybacks off my last point. So it's going to sound very similar, but yeah, it's you got to invest a lot of money into this kind of stuff. And a lot of people they get into it very naively, and they think that, oh well, I just need to have a drone and that is it. And unfortunately, I wish it was I wish it was like that, but it's not. The investment has to be made, and really, it's what you put in that is what you get out of it. Um, it's it's a lot of. I'm not saying don't go broke trying to do it. I mean, get yourself a drone that you don't mind losing. And start practicing by all means, and don't go broke trying to do it. Don't get all these crazy loans and remortgage your house or whatever, or refinance your house. Don't do that. Don't do that unless if you have a solid plan and you've probably ran successful businesses before. Don't do that. Okay, but yes, you definitely have to invest the money into it. I invested some savings into my business in many different regards, not just drones, just obviously equipment and software and even coaching as well. That was very important. But definitely one of the very first things that I noticed when I got into this industry was the fact that you really have to invest plenty. Because the guys that are in shorts and flip-flops and fly little mini, I mean, the amount that they're able to make may or may not be that good. You might find some people in the comments that might say, no, this is how I put my business. I show up in shorts and flip-flops at the beach, and I take videos and pictures, and I make, I make $100,000 a year. Fantastic. That is awesome. I'm happy for you, genuinely. But that's not the majority of people. And the majority of people really need to put a lot of time and effort into this. So definitely, if you want to make money, you got to have money. So choose wisely. All right, the last point I want to make is that while there is a lot of competition in the drone industry, and there is a lot of competition, there's also room for cooperation as well. You can't do it all. I noticed this when I was doing disaster relief efforts after the last two hurricanes. I did a lot of cooperation with other guys, and even in general, it's just the fact that one guy may specialize in something that I may be good at. I mean that I don't do, and I can give him work, and vice versa. He can give me stuff that he doesn't do. So I always say that instead of bickering at each other, instead of being petty with each other, find ways to collaborate, find ways to do stuff together. Because at the end of the day, if we can all prosper, that'd be fantastic. So definitely there's a lot of room for cooperation in the drone industry. All right, guys. So that is it for today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Subscribe down below. Hit me one of these. Sorry. Go to the comments. Let me know what you think. Did I miss anything? Is there anything you might share from your personal experience? Let anybody else know about this YouTube channel. I'm just getting started, so really any subscribers can help. I appreciate you being on this journey with me. And let me know if there's anything else that you want me to cover. All right, guys, that is it for today. See you next time.